Welcome to our €23,000 Italian lake house.
This isn't just a creative project. This is our only home. It's a race against the cold, and we are running out of time. We thought we were buying a house. We bought a challenge.
Today is the 4th of January 2026. Let's have a quick tour of the current state.
I hope we haven't bitten off more than we can chew. Hi, Kristina here. I know you're here for the house tour, but before we show you around, I want to give you some context. This renovation isn't just a creative project for us. This is our only and primary house. We're trying to finish this house before next winter so we can actually move in and live inside. We've reached the end of our budget, so from this point on, we're doing what we can with what we have. I hope we haven't bitten off more than we can chew, because missing that winter deadline would mean having to spend another brutal winter in my sister-in-law's apartment with no heating system and only an outhouse for a bathroom. That's why this journey and the people following it really matter. If you enjoy our story, following us here on YouTube genuinely helps us keep going. Now, let's show you the house.
Here you can see I have transcribed our double-barreled surname Cordier Knighton, and not 2020 was actually the year that we bought the house, 6 years ago I suppose now. We're in the lounge, what will be the lounge, the salone. Very simple. We're going to have a corner sofa along that wall, L shape along this wall. It's going to come to about here. Open fire, installing a wood-fired cast iron stove, which I bought actually probably almost 2 years ago now on Facebook Marketplace for €350. Current value, if you wanted to buy one that we'll be installing, you'll spend €2,500.
This stone here is going to remain exposed. So the bits that are plastered now will be plastered, and then this kind of around the front door and next to the fireplace.
That'll stay exposed. So what you can see here actually is not the finished state of clean stone wall, but a lot of work has gone into what you can see now, including sandblasting, which was probably the most difficult construction task I've ever done in my life. Really horrible actually. But you can see here there's a bit of a mix of stone. You've got limestone, you've got granite, you've got some brick here. This surround, which will be obviously the surround for the front entrance, will remain exposed. You can see more of a finished wall, not quite finished, but all of the plaster, like I just showed you there, will end up something like this, which is a lime plaster. I still need to put another coat on here, and then I'll lime wash it. So I think it's going to look very, very cool. Lime plaster is absolutely essential in these old stone houses. Otherwise, you're going to have damp problems. Exposed timber ceiling here. You can see these beams are going to remain as they are. They are supposed to be an oak, new oak effect colour. And then in between the beams, I'm going to paint the ceiling white. I'm kind of going for an English cottage feel. A little bit more unusual, I think, in Italy to have white in between the beams, but that's the plan.
It's quite a dark room, so I think that'll help to brighten it up a bit.
It's going to be the same. It's going to be the same scheme throughout the house, upstairs as well, where it's a lot brighter.
You want to explain down here?
Yeah. So we're going into this room here. Okay. Yeah. The castle for the boy, firstborn son, Lucky Falcor Cordier Knighton.
Our dog.
Our dog is going to have his own palace, castello. He loves a cave. That's what I'm building here for him. Behind here is basically the understairs, what will be understairs storage, but I'm going to build a little cushioned, filled with soft fabrics castle for prince. This is actually going to be a double aspect exposed piece of stone. Above here, which is essentially the landing for the staircase, we're going to glaze with reinforced glass, so that all of the exposed stone walls, I'm planning to put lights which will spread light up and down vertically to kind of make a feature of the stone. So yeah, this stone wall goes all the way to the top of the house. Let's go into the Batcave.
This will be the guest room.
You've got a lot more exposed stone in here. Again, more stone. Once again, it was a real nightmare, if I'm being quite honest, with the sandblasting. But I still have to clean up all of this a little bit more, but it's going to be easy. I'll just use an angle grinder, and all this kind of stuff is going to be cleaned up.
And the reason you got to clean it up is because this wasn't originally exposed. This was covered with plaster and concrete.
Old lime plaster. There's no concrete.
So we've decided to expose it. That wasn't originally exposed.
This stone is one of my favourite features of the house. If you ask me, it's incredible, absolutely stunning. This portion of the house, it could be up to 1,000 years old. Very, very likely 800 years old. These stone walls are a metre thick, and they're just absolutely stunning. Got a bit more stone over there, but the reason I call this the Batcave, one of the reasons, apart from obviously the stone, is that there's very little light. This is the only light source, what will become the spare room, and it's that window there. Originally it was a lot smaller, it was lower down. Our architect managed to widen it and make it a bit bigger, but you can see it's obviously higher up, so we're going to put some more glazing across there. So that's our master bedroom up there. There's going to be reinforced glazing along there horizontally on into the floor. This window will be controllable, openable, closable from this room. So that is a dedicated window for this room. You won't be able to access it from the room above. The windows are coming soon, actually. Here you can see a bit of a spaghetti of pipes, but here we have the ensuite. This spare room is kind of a mirror image of the spare room upstairs. Ensuite bathroom, which will be sink, shower, toilet, and a shataf instead of a bidet. This is quite an interesting piece of gear, because this is an original stone sink, very heavy, that we found buried in the wall in that room. San Nico stone. You can see the sinkhole there. People are advising me against it, but I'm planning to install this in this ensuite as the main sink. This needs to be cleaned up a little bit, obviously placed very cleverly, because it weighs an absolute ton. I can apparently seal this San Nico stone because it's porous naturally, maybe even some kind of other clever adaptation to make it waterproof.
Do you want to talk about these pipes and all those electrics?
Yeah, so this here will be the main fuse board. There is a pipe that comes into this junction box on this side. It's a 62mm diameter pipe, and that goes into this wall and all the way up to the roof of the house. Eventually, we want to put solar panels on the roof, a air source heat pump, and all of that wiring is going to come from the roof down into this control center, and we're going to have, hopefully, eventually batteries stacked up on this wall, which would be amazing. But yeah, we're kind of trying to future-proof everything. And again, talking about future-proofing, these two pipes here that are going into the room above, this is a flow and return that will eventually be connected to a hydro pellet boiler right above here. That will be smart and wirelessly controlled, provide heat, ambient heat for our bedroom. It will also be connected to this flow and return for underfloor heating that I want to install throughout the entire ground floor. Wet underfloor heating. Now I've got a plan because we have a height problem, so I've got a design in my head which will be a very low profile wet underfloor heating system that is going directly on top of what we're standing on. So this is quite an interesting situation. I'll explain why. Originally, the staircase was inverted. The staircase started here and went up towards that window. Our architect said, let's invert the staircase. As you can see, it's now the other way. It starts there and it goes up this way. Because below us is a cellar, which belongs to one of our neighbours. There was historically talk of us potentially buying it, but we weren't in a position to buy it. It's possible in the future that we could end up buying a cellar directly below where we're standing. Medieval, vaulted ceiling, arched, solid stone cellar. Apparently, probably just below where we're standing here now, there was a secret trapdoor that was used during World War II, where people would run into and kind of escape through this trapdoor. If we were to buy the cellar below our feet, the idea would be to have another staircase underneath this one, so that this floor area would be broken through, and this would become the landing, and essentially you would be walking up from the cellar into this area. So that's why one of the main reasons why the staircase is going in that direction instead of in this direction. Fireplace, once again, exposed stone. There's a lot more up here as well. Beautiful exposed stone. Again, I'll clean it up. Won't be a big job now. Now the sandblasting is done. We're now in the kitchen, so there'll be a double aspect. There'll be a light down there, and there'll be another one running from here, spreading light up and down the stone wall, so you'll be able to see it all the way from here down to the ground floor.
We decided to put the kitchen in the upstairs, even though I had originally been in the downstairs, because we both really love to cook, and we've always wanted a kitchen with a lot of space and a lot of natural light. And we get a lot more natural light up here than we do downstairs. We also got permission to add that skylight there, which brings in a lot of light. These windows were not originally here. This is where the wall started collapsing on the house. And so our architect got permission, because it was sort of a pre-existing state of the house before we bought it. We got permission to not rebuild those walls back, but instead leave them open as windows, which again brings in a lot more light. This window was not part of the original house. We got permission to open that window. So originally it was just those two windows, and now we get so much more light.
There's a great view from this window. We've got kind of a 360 panorama almost, but this new window, we've got the church right there. We've got a direct line of sight to the church bells, and then you have to put your head around the corner a little bit, but there's a lake view there.
Stick your head out.
And but you can see the mountain literally just right ahead there. You can see the foothills of the Alps, snow-capped as we speak. Ski country literally out of our kitchen window, one of them. And this will be the sink. This will be the kitchen sink. I might use this one. This came out of our neighbour's property. Pretty good quality. Let's see how well it cleans up, but I think I might put that just there. We're going to have units all the way along here. Basically an L-shaped kitchen running along that wall. The first thing that you will come across at the top of that landing is a wine fridge. Very important. Full height. And then a standard fridge next to it, and then full height kitchen cabinetry all the way along this wall. Right here in the corner, I'm going to build an angled pantry, and then from about here, this will be floor to ceiling. From here to there, we'll have some standard kind of wall cupboards and workspace. In the middle of the room, there'll be an island where the hob will be induction hob. We're not having gas in the house. It's going to be electric, and the heat sources will be log burners and pellet, and a pellet boiler. So electric and wood with solar panels on that roof, hopefully in the future. So this is another wonderful view. You can see there the mountain, a ridge of a mountain where a very famous trail goes by, going back to the Roman times. Tica Valeriana, I believe it's called, and Trenta Passi. In a couple of weeks' time, just in that little divot there, in that dip in the mountains, the sun will start peeking through, and our house will be one of the first places in the whole village that will get sun, and one of the last places when the sun goes in next year as well. I have excavated a big hole for a pizza oven. A wood-fired pizza oven is going to go in there. It's going to stick out probably about that far, and the floor will go straight through the ceiling. I can expose the front edge so you can see.
We bought this with the wedding gift money that my older brother Nathan gave us for our wedding. So thank you, Nathan.
So that will go into that hole. So the log burner that I'm planning to put here is called a cucina economica. I think it'll be very good for vin brûlé, mulled wine, and other mulled beverages of choice. Here we will have the balustrade essentially just along there. This will be closed off. As what I want to do, if I can find it, is find a pot-bellied wrought iron balustrade, something vintage, that will run along here. Along here will be as big as we can possibly fit kitchen table. I'm planning to make this out of literal slabs of tree trunk from the local area. I've already identified the sawmill where I'll be buying this stuff. I have an idea to position them on top of used wine barrels. Now, Kristina is saying the wine barrels will be too big, they'll be in the way. We'll see. But yeah, I've got grand plans for a very grand table here for lots of people for entertaining. There'll be a chandelier around here somewhere, just a standard, electric light chandelier. But again, I want to find something that's antique. And then on a piece of string, on some kind of pulley system, maybe I'll have the pulley here. I want to install another candelabra, but with actual candles, which obviously, we'll be very careful when we're using. The idea will be, it'll be on a piece of rope. I'll tie it off there, I'll have a pulley there, another pulley there, and then when we have dinner parties, I can drop the candelabra, light the candles, kind of hovering just above, line of sight, and I'll be pulling pizzas out of there and just swinging them onto people's plates with their vin brûlé from the cucina economica. Does that sound good? The kitchen is going to be all mod cons. In the island, a induction stovetop. We've seen these really fancy ones. We'll see if it's affordable, but we've seen these induction hobs now that literally look like a piece of granite or a piece of stone. So ideally that's what we would have in the middle here. If not, then I definitely want to put natural stone or granite worktops on the island, and then the worktops along here. If we can't find something fancy, then I'm sure I'll find something, reclaimed. So induction hob, dishwasher, washing machine, plumbed into drainage, which I've already put in. This is all buried in the wall. It comes out there and it goes straight down and it goes through the wall to the outside. It literally took me 2 days to drill one hole for one pipe, because these stone walls are 1 meter thick in places and they're full of granite. I went through 3 drills, 2 drill bits. These drill bits, I went through 2 more like this, bigger. 3 drills, actual drills, just got wrecked, and 2 days drilling one hole for that, which is the drainage for the sink, the washing machine and the dishwasher. But on this wall there'll be
You talk about your collection of sinks?
On this wall there'll be a tumble dryer. Apparently Americans can't live without them.
We can't here in Tolina. We don't get sun.
Yeah. So we're going to have a tumble dryer and then a eye-level electric oven just here. So yeah, it's going to be a modern kitchen. Above the island, I plan to build some kind of a hanging storage solution. In my mind's eye, if I'm dreaming, we'll have copper pans and pots hanging on hooks with some herbs drying right here above the induction hob and above the island, and a proper industrial strength extractor hood that's going to suck air directly through the roof and outside, not these cheap ones with no external extraction. It's going to be a proper commercial quality professional setup. So we do like to cook. Here, a very decent, good-looking bedroom. This will be our primary bedroom. Again, beautiful exposed stone. Yeah, this is going to be an absolute work of art. This window here is a medieval window, which when we bought the house we didn't know it was there because it was all covered over. It was bricked up, it was covered in plaster, and it was exposed during the renovation. We got permission to keep it, and eventually the plan is to put stained glass in that window.
It's the discovery of that window that allowed us to be able to date the house a little bit, because we didn't know how old the house was, but once that was discovered, our architect and engineer told us that that's a medieval style window, so at least this portion of the house is definitely medieval.
Ensuite, which same as downstairs. We won't have baths, we don't have the space, so we don't really use baths too much, so there'll be a big wide deep shower, a metre wide, 80 centimetres deep, which I would have preferred bigger, but I think it's big enough. And then, yeah, not much else to say about the ensuite, apart from it's got its own Velux window. There's obviously a Velux window here as well. This one here, the only one in the house, has a solar powered blind that is controllable by remote control. That will be screwed here next to our beds, and that will just push of a button, and there'll be a blackout blind that will close. The other Veluxes, that wasn't necessary. But here is a pretty decent view from the bedroom of the lake view.
This wasn't a door like this. This was originally just one window, and then we got permission to expand it. And then the future potential plan is that we hope to get permission to build a little terrace out here. It's the only part of the house that has a lake view. Coincidentally, it's also the only part of the house that would really accommodate a terrace. So, fingers crossed.
But I would like a huge terrace, not a small one, that goes all the way to the end, because if that's possible, we will have the most spectacular lake view, because the further it goes out to that edge, the more view we'll get. So, you know, if we're over there in that corner, we'll have a complete lake view. You know, my plan is to maybe stick a pizza oven out there. You can't have too many pizza ovens, in my opinion. But that's something for the future. Yeah, and that's
the house.
Pretty much where we are at.
If you have any other suggestions, please leave them in the comments, and follow us on YouTube to see our other videos about the house and to follow our progress. You can also follow us on Instagram and TikTok, where we post shorter form videos about what we're doing here. If this is something you're thinking about doing, you can check out our Patreon, where we publish houses in the north of Italy near the lakes for under 100,000 euros. Thank you so much, and we'll see you next time. Bye.
Goodbye. Arrivederci, ciao. Arrivederci.